So that's the gold standard. If you want to compare any organic certification, compare it to the Demeter Association. But let me tell you what's happened in just the last 4 or 5 years. First, let me tell you what it takes to be certified by a real organic agency. You got to farm organically by the principles of organic farming, and your farm has to be investigated by a board member from the board. So they come to your farm, they investigate. They usually give you a report and say, these are the things you got to do, clean up your farm, farm organically, and then before they give you your license, you get reinvestigated, okay? So give you your certificate. So they actually test the soil, etc. They want you to have 3 years. Some of them have dropped it to 2 years now. It used to be 3 years because in the process of the microorganisms building up their populations in the soil, they actually eat up and metabolize all the old chemicals in the soil. And when the animals, the insects and the organisms eat those chemicals, they convert them into chemicals that are even more toxic than some of the chemicals that were on the ground. So in that 2 to 3 year period, the food can be at risk. Okay? So you can say that you farm organically in that grace period, but you cannot say that you're certified. It usually costs $5,000 a year or more to maintain your certification. Many farmers can't afford that. The reason that costs that much money is there's a lot of administrative work, and if you have problems on your farm, the board will actually come support you and help you to find non-toxic means. So basically you've got a board of highly skilled farmers that oversee all the farms that they certify to keep them organic, because if you get quarantined, you lose your certification, and that means it's hard for you to sell your food as organic. You can't, right? They have to quarantine your farm. So those are the hallmarks of a real organic certification. Now, just in the last few years, about the last 4 years, we've gone from 5 organic certifications to 95. Most of them require nothing except that you pay a fee and they send you your organic certification in the mail. And if you track the money back, almost all the organic certifications now are owned by major food processing companies like Nabisco, General Mills, etc., right? And by the way, they're the same people that fund the nutrition programs in almost all major universities, and they teach the nutritionists to prescribe crap. Why do you think our food pyramid's backwards, right? So what's happened is they've been for several years, but now they're making a much more aggressive effort because there's so much interest in organic foods now, they have to fight back. So what they're doing is they're running studies on organic food in universities all over the world, but the organic food is being brought in from one of their bogus organically certified farms, and then they run scientific studies in major universities and publish a paper, and look, there's no difference between commercial and organic. So you get all sorts of people. I get them in my office all the time. Well, I saw a report on the news that said there was no difference. Well, that's right. This is why. And that's their plan. And they're smart, and they don't want to farm for real because it takes energy and effort and intelligence. You can't farm in an airplane or going 60 miles an hour down the freeway in a truck. You actually have to do it. And the sad part of it is we're losing farmers at a massive rate every day in North America right now because all these commercial farmers are putting them out of business. And it might also interest you guys to know that most of the banks that lend money to farmers so they can buy their equipment is owned by the 5 major food companies. So what they want to do is they push them out and they foreclose and they take all their property back. They take their property, they take their equipment. So they own, and you see the food companies own everything. They own the railway lines, the transportation lines. It's a big, huge network, okay? And we're healthcare people. We're into high performance. We're the goaltenders, ladies and gentlemen. The doctors have been, 60% of a medical doctor's education is paid for by drug companies. They have no financial investment, the drug companies, in letting doctors teach health. As a matter of fact, if you're a medical doctor and you get too much into this kind of stuff, they'll take your license away. It's happened many times, okay? So they've set it up so you can't practice real medicine. You can only sell drugs, and the drug companies run the whole thing. So if you want to be healthy, you've got to take ownership of yourself, and that means you've got to do the work. If you have to fly food in, fly it in. If you've got to get frozen turkeys from Alabama or whatever, do it. Sell your damn car and eat it. I'm dead serious, because you can be like my patient. You can drive all over town in a Ferrari and have a miserable life, a pocket full of drugs, and a family that's extremely disjointed and kids that are in drug programs. I see it every day. Most of my work these days is mental, emotional, and spiritual work to deal with people that are literally cracking up. They're rich and they're sick and unhappy.
First of all, I believe in everything you're saying, but to be honest, I don't think they're realistic. Let's say a family's lower social economic status, lots of barriers. How are they going to afford organic food? How can they go to get a membership to the gym? How can they work out? Or all they want to do is survive.
Right. So there's a number of things, and I address that in my book, How to Eat, Move, and Be Healthy, and I have a chart in there, and I show you the order to go in based on your financial ability, and I am working on a book called How to Eat, Move, and Be Healthy on a low budget. So the first thing you do, one, is just drink more water. Two, stop buying crap. Most of the people that you're describing, if you were to analyze their grocery bills like I have and to look in their shopping cart, you saw that shopping cart, it's full of not only crap, but expensive crap, okay? So if they got rid of all the Pop-Tarts and the Fruit Loops and the shit and started spending that, even if they were buying commercially raised produce, their health would rise up dramatically, right? I've got books. A guy wrote a book in the UK, How to Feed a Family, I believe, of 5 on 16 pounds a week. And the guy shows you how to do it. I've got lots of books in my library. If you make stews, you know, believe me, you can do it.
I just got another spin-off, not really a spin-off, but one thing I don't understand, like, we all know omega-3s are good, right?
What?
Omega-3 fatty acids are very healthy for you.
Well, in the right dose. I mean, anything can poison you.
I agree there, but I don't know. I've never seen a commercial about it. That's what, no one's answered that question, I think.
Well, I can answer that for you. You won't see a commercial about anything that makes you healthy because nobody makes any money when you're healthy.
Well, why don't we do something about it? Like, we keep talking about it, but why don't we start something?
I'm here, baby. I brought 180 pounds of twisted steel and sex appeal. I'm doing my best. Yes. All right, I'll come over there next.
My wife and I own an organic grocery store in Sudbury, Ontario.
Yeah, there you go, see? Yeah, baby.
And to be honest with you, I own like a train company, train hockey players up there too, and we haven't made a dime in 2 years. It is flat as piss on a plate. It's never made a dime. And we created a program called the Food Shed program, where we cut down costs in order of shipping, and we've tried to get like local farmers to produce organic food.
Yeah.
And what you're doing here is right on the mark, man. We need to get money behind you and get you out there.
Yeah, that's why I made these CDs. That's 9 hours beyond what's in the book. And that tells you what's going on with food. Just 9 hours of what I just did. And anytime my practitioners can't get people to start eating organic food, they let them listen to that, and 98% of them flip. Because when they understand what they're doing to themselves, I probably have a stack of letters that tall from all over the world of parents that had kids on ADD medication, people that had all sorts of problems, skin tags, skin problems, cirrhosis, you name it. They followed my advice and did nothing but eat proper food, and diseases cleared up, drugs gone, whole life. So the answer is, the reason you're having the problem is because there's just a lack of education. But guys like me, you'll read about me in the obituaries when I get good at this, because I'll be a problem. And there's plenty of guys like me. Go to quackwatch.com, and I'm already on Quackwatch, which is a list that they put up to identify quacks for the public, right? And almost every doctor on the Quackwatch, you will blow your mind. You read the list of doctors on the Quack. It's almost every doctor that ever did anything for humanity. It's the best doctors in the world right there, right? And it's the AMA doing that to protect the public.